Jai Hind to all. My name is Dr. Sachi Singh. I'm Assistant Professor in Applied Science and Humanities Department at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. So today we explore one of the interesting concepts from engineering chemistry. That paper code is 102 or 202. So that concept is molecular orbital theory. So today we discuss the following topics: introduction, the need of molecular orbital theory, the postulates of molecular orbital theories, and its principle, that is linear combination of atomic orbitals, and bonding and antibonding molecular orbitals, and the energy level diagrams. So these are the references. Now comes upon the topic. So before explaining the molecular orbital theory, firstly we know about the chemical bonding, because molecular orbital theory explains the chemical bonding. So chemical bonding is the force of attraction that holds atoms together in a molecule or a compound. All we know about this definition. And there are so many theories to explain that chemical bonding. So there are Coriolis approach, valence shell electron pair repulsion, valence bond theory, and molecular orbital theory. But there are so many concepts which is not explained by the valence bond theory. That's why we need a theory that is called as molecular orbital theory. So why we need MOT? So because there are some limitations in valence bond theory. So first limitation is the paramagnetic behavior of the oxygen molecule. According to valence bond theory, as they having a paired electron, they show that it is a diamagnetic character. But when we practically studied that oxygen show the paramagnetic behavior. So that is one of the limitation. The formation of coordinate covalent bond, that is not explained by the VBT. The formation of the molecular ions, suppose H2 plus, O2 minus, these are not explained by the VBT. Bonding in metals and intermediate compounds, magnetic and spectral properties. These are not explained by the valence bond theory. That's why we need a new theory, the advanced theory, that is molecular orbital theory. So molecular orbital theory was firstly developed by Robert S. Mulliken and Friedrich Hahn in 1932. And the Robert S. Mulliken received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1966. In molecular orbital theory, it is defined as when two atomic orbitals are combined, it forms molecular orbitals. And after combination, the individual identity of each atomic orbital is completely lost. So, there it is written, when two atoms approach each other, their atomic orbitals overlap and form new orbitals. For example, suppose there is a the orbital, there is a two orbital, suppose it is 1s combined, there is a formation of one is bonding molecular orbital, which is lower energy, that represent sigma 1s, and other one is sigma star 1s. So that one of the postulates which explain the combination of two atomic orbital, and after combination, the individual identity of each atomic orbital is completely lost. And the number of molecular orbital formed, that is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals. Suppose two atomic orbitals are combined, two molecular orbitals are formed. If suppose four atomic orbitals combine, four molecular orbitals are formed. And two bonding and two anti-bonding. And molecular orbital formed by the principle known as LCAO principle. That its full form is linear combination of atomic orbitals. And the next postulates, this molecular orbital filling basically take place by the rules which we have already studied during the filling of atomic configuration. That is Aufbau principle, Pauli exclusion principle, and Hund's rule. As we all know that Aufbau principle, the filling of electrons in which there is a lower orbital first and then the higher orbital. So if it is 1s, 2s and 2p, so electrons fill in the 1s orbitals. Suppose according to that, and in Pauli exclusion principle, in each orbital, the maximum number of electron is 2 and they must having the opposite spin. And according to the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, if the orbitals are in equal energy level, so firstly it is filled, one electron half filled, then they will start to paired up. So these are the rules for the filling of the molecular orbitals. Next, the bond order. Molecular orbital helps to explain the strength of the molecule. It can be calculated with the help of bond order. The bond order calculated the number of electrons in bonding minus number of electrons in anti-bonding. And by calculating the bond order, if the bond order is 0, that means the molecule does not exist in nature. It is unstable. And if it is greater than 0, that means the molecule is stable. Molecular orbital theory also explain the magnetic character in the molecule. If the outer orbitals having paired electron, then it is called as diamagnetic in nature. And if the orbital is unpaired or singly filled, then it is called as paramagnetic in nature. So by the molecular orbital theory, we also calculate about the magnetic character, we calculate the stability and strength of the molecule. Next, in molecular orbital theory, the combination is take place by the help of linear combination of atomic orbital. According to the linear combination of atomic orbital, they show the combination. It may be subtractive combination or additive combination. Suppose the orbital A, its wave function is psi A, and the orbital B, its wave function is psi B. And if it is combined by the combination either subtractive or either additive, then there is a formation of molecular orbitals. So we can express the psi MO is the molecular orbital wave function, and that atomic A and atomic B wave function is psi A and psi B, and Ca and Cb is the coefficient that describe the contribution of each atomic orbitals. So detailed we study the bonding molecular orbitals. So this additive and subtractive basically refers the wave functions phases. So additive combination take place when the both wave functions are in the same phase. When both are in the same phase, then what will happen? Addition take place, and the net effect, the amplitude of wave function is added here. So this is the constructive interference. What will happen? The both wave function are in the same phase, then there is an amplitude wave function increases, and this is the constructive combination. So additive means, that means both wave function are in the same phase. And if suppose the orbital, s orbital, 1s orbital, if they combine, plus sign refers both are in the same phase. So what will happen? The net effect, there is the electrons are moved towards the nucleus. The region of constructive interference. Here the probability of finding electron is maximum in case of constructive combination. So constructive combination, there is a addition of wave function, produce bonding molecular orbitals and high electron density between the nuclei, and it refers the stability. And this bonding molecular orbitals, the probability or the electron density in the region between the two nuclei, which is responsible for the more stability. When they are combined, the electrons are formed more towards the nuclei. Here the probability of finding electron is maximum. And each electron in bonding contributes to attraction between the two atoms. It increases the stability of the molecule. and energy, if the molecule is, that orbital is stable, that means the energy of the molecule is lower. Lower in energy, higher stability, electrons move towards the nuclei, and the bonding molecular orbitals take place when both wave functions are in the same phase. Now comes upon the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Anti-bonding molecular orbital take place when both wave functions are in different phase. Suppose this psi A and psi B, their phase is different. Suppose it represented as here positive and this is suppose negative. So both the wave functions are in the different phase. So during what will happen? There is a destructive interference. The net effect, that is psi A minus psi B. The amplitude of wave function is subtracted here. So in anti-bonding take place by the subtractive combination and when both the wave functions are in different phase. And what will happen? Suppose the orbitals are in different phase, plus and minus, then in that case what will happen? The electrons move away from the nuclei. The probability of finding electrons in this region is away from the nucleus. Suppose the probability is here. Probability of finding electron is here, not towards the nuclei. That in case of anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So in that anti-bonding, again there is a formation of node. What is node? Node, the region where the probability of finding electron is 0. So always in anti-bonding molecular orbital, the node is formed in the anti-bonding, and in bonding it may or may not be. And anti-bonding molecular orbital, we have already explained that the probability of finding electron is away from the nuclei. The electron is excluded from the internuclear region. That refers destabilizing. And if it has a 0 electron density between the nuclei, here there is a formation of, in that part there is a formation of node. So there is the probability of finding electron is 0. And each electron in anti-bonding molecular orbital contributes to repulsion between the two atoms. So repulsion, that refers destability and higher energy. And always anti-bonding take place when both wave function are in different phase. Now there are some important features or some important points which explain the distinguish between bonding and anti-bonding. So that is formation, as we already explained. The bonding molecular orbital take place when there is a constructive overlap of the atomic orbital, and it is formed by the destructive overlap of the atomic orbital. So constructive means both wave functions are in same phase. So this will happen when both the wave functions are in the same phase, suppose positive and negative, and in that case anti-bonding when both wave functions are in the different phase, suppose positive and here negative and positive. Next point, electron density. Electron density in bonding, high electron density between the nuclei. Nuclei are held together. Note 0 electron density between the nuclei. Nuclei are repelled. They show the stability, they show the instability. Here there is a formation of node. Energy level, lower energy than combining parent atomic orbitals, higher energy than combining parent atomic orbitals. Bond strength, increase bond strength and stability, weaken or cancel the bond strength. Suppose if the electrons in anti-bonding, we said that is unstable molecule, and if the electrons are in bonding, then that molecule is the stable one. So molecule is stable if more electrons occupy in bonding, unstable if the molecule electron occupy in the anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So these are the certain characteristic or difference between the bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Now comes upon the next, energy level of molecular orbital theory. Molecular orbital theory is a graphical representation where atomic orbitals and molecular orbitals are arranged systematically according to their relative energies or in order of increasing energy. So, for the drawing of molecular orbital theory, what are the important points we are consider? Determine the number of electron in the molecules, whatever the number of electrons, if it is 10, 15, 14, on the basis of that, we consider the cases, configuration cases. Now, fill of the molecular orbitals to top until the electrons are added, that is the lower energy first and then the higher energy, as in case of Aufbau principle. We have already discussed this point that always the electron in a orbital, in a orbit in the opposite spin, and orbitals of equal energy firstly half filled, then they will start to paired up. Now comes upon the molecular orbital configuration. Generally in molecular orbital configuration, there is a combination of two atomic orbitals. When we talk about atomic orbital configuration, we consider simple, there is a 1s, 2s and 2p. But what will happen here? Here, there is a combination of, suppose 1s and 1s, it gives the formation of two type of molecular orbital. One is sigma 1s and other one is sigma star 1s. Similarly, 2p, sigma 2s, sigma 2s and sigma star 2s. And in case of p orbitals, suppose there is a 2p orbitals. The 2p orbital, suppose it is x, y and z. Again there is in 2p orbitals x, y and z. So p orbitals structure, it is a dumbbell shape. Okay. So suppose that it is the in this way, this shape. So it is x, y, z. Suppose one it is in x axis, whatever we designate x, y and there is z. So these combination, these type of p orbitals combined, and we already know that if the combination are this one, this is the lateral overlapping, and this combination is sidewise overlapping. So always out of the three, one orbital form the lateral overlapping, and we know that lateral overlapping always form the sigma bond. So it is represented sigma 2p, whatever, suppose I am designated it is x, y, z, whatever. And those orbital which is sidewise overlapping, they form the pi orbital. So this explained as a 2py, or this orbital, and if it is in that, suppose z or this one. So both are combined in the sidewise overlapping. So these both are forming the pi orbital. So suppose it is 2pz, whatever we nominate. Okay. So again this p orbital combination, during the p orbital combination, there are 3p and 3p from both sides. So there is a formation of 6 molecular orbital in which 3 are bonding and 3 are anti-bonding. So we already know about that during this combination, the p orbitals sigma 2px, pi 2py and pi 2pz. So p orbitals basically formed which type of orbitals? Sigma 2px and pi 2py is equal to pi 2pz orbital, and similarly its anti-bonding is, that is sigma star 2px, that is pi star 2py and pi star 2pz orbitals. And we already know 1s combined, sigma 1s and sigma star. Similarly 2s, sigma 2s and sigma star. So let's see the molecular orbital configuration here. So in molecular orbital configuration, there are two cases. First is, this is the case 1 This is the case 1 and this is the case 2. This is the case 2. What will happen here? In case 1, where the size of the atom is small, when the number of electron, this case is applicable when the number of electron is less than equal to 14, and here the number of electron is greater than 14. Firstly, we see the case second. The normal case, the size of the atom is large, a number of electrons greater than 14, oxygen and above molecule. We know that Aufbau principle, firstly electron fill in 1s, then 2s. Okay, the Aufbau principle follow, and again the stability. Which one is more stable? Sigma or sigma star or sigma, bonding or anti-bonding. So bonding is more stable, so firstly write bonding and then anti-bonding. Similarly for the 2s, bonding and then anti-bonding. Okay, and then we come to the p orbitals. Again the p orbitals, when we compare bonding and anti-bonding. So bonding written first because it is more stable as compared to the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So it is sigma 2px and then pi 2py, pi 2pz. And in case of pi star 2py is equal to pi star 2pz and then sigma star 2px. Mainly difference is that in that case. This is the difference between both cases. In case second, firstly sigma 2px and then pi 2py, pi 2pz. But in case of case 1, the size of atom is small. And if we written here, after sigma 2s, right, sigma 2px, what will happen? There is a repulsion is created. That's why we put here pi 2py and then pi 2pz. That is the electronic configuration for the molecular orbitals. Now comes upon the energy level diagrams. So let's start the basic, we take the example hydrogen molecule. Okay, so firstly we calculate the total number of electron as hydrogen configuration is 1s1. So we draw that energy, firstly energy levels. This is the atomic orbitals, atomic orbital 1s, atomic orbital, and this one is, now what will happen? That 1s is combined, there is a formation of firstly bonding molecular orbital and then formation of anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So during that, electron fill firstly which having the lower energy. So sigma star 2s is the lower energy. So firstly electron fill in sigma, not sigma star, sigma 1s and then sigma star 1s. So there is only 2 electrons. So it is first filled in sigma 1s and sigma star 2s is, sigma star 1s is vacant. Clear? It is sigma 1s and it is sigma star 1s. Sigma star 1s is vacant because there are only 2 electrons are available. So it is filled in sigma 1s and that is called as this orbital which is sigma 1s. This is called as bonding molecular orbital. And the sigma star 1s, this is the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Anti-bonding molecular orbital. So this is the configuration. After 1s, there is a sigma 1s2 and sigma star 1s. There is a no electron. This is the vacant. So there is a no electron in sigma star 1s. And the bond order, the bonding minus anti-bonding by 2. So 2 electrons in bonding by minus 0 upon 2, that is 1. And magnetic character is diamagnetic. Why it is diamagnetic? Because the orbital having a paired electron. That's why it is diamagnetic in nature. Now comes upon the molecular orbital diagram for the nitrogen molecule. As we know, in the nitrogen, the total number of electron is, the total number of electron is 14. So we follow the case 1. So the case 1, firstly draw the atomic orbitals, the 1s, then what will happen? Then draw 1s combined, sigma 1s, sigma star 1s. Again, next 2s orbital, 2s combine, sigma 2s and sigma star 2s. And then 2p orbitals combine, the 2p, pi 2p y is equal to pi 2p z, then sigma 2p x. Again, refers the case, this is the case 1. Firstly, electron filled in pi 2p y, pi 2p z, then sigma 2p x. This point is important. This diagram is important. That is the diagram for the case 1, when the number of electron is less than 40. And then the antibonding is pi star 2py is equal to pi star 2pz. Now the filling of electrons as the nitrogen configuration, nitrogen atomic configuration is, what is nitrogen configuration? That is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p3. So here 1s2, 2s2 and 2p3. Firstly one orbital filled. Now the next orbitals, 1s2, again it is vacant, now it is filled 2s2 and this one is 2p3. Now all the atomic orbitals are filled here. Now the formation of molecular orbital. So 1s combined, total 4 electron in 1s, so 2 electron in bonding and the 2 electrons in anti-bonding. Next, in 2s, again sigma 2s2 electron and sigma star 2s2 electron. 2p orbital combines, pi and pi. Firstly, it is single filled according to that principle. Then they will start to paired up. Total we have filled a 6 electrons. Molecular orbital diagram for the nitrogen molecule. And now we write the configuration. Similarly, we write it sigma star 1s2, sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2 written here. Then pi 2p y2 is equal to pi 2p z2 and then sigma star 2p x2. Okay. And the magnetic character, as that outer orbital is paired, that's why it is magnetic character. That its magnetic character is diamagnetic because it is paired. And the bond order, the total number of electron in bonding, how many electrons in bonding? That is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 electrons in bonding and 4 electrons in anti-bonding. So its bond order is 3. So this is the molecular orbital diagram for the nitrogen molecule. Now comes upon for the next molecular orbital diagram, that is the oxygen molecule. In oxygen molecule, firstly we calculate the total number of electrons. So in oxygen, the total number of electron is, that is 16 electrons. So which case follow here? We follow the case second. So what will happen in case second? So case second, that p orbitals, firstly written sigma 2p x and then pi 2p y, pi 2p z. So let's see, there is a atomic orbitals combined, 1s combined, formation of sigma 1s and sigma star 1s, and then 2s combined, there is sigma 2s and sigma star 2s. 2p orbitals combined, there is sigma 2px and pi 2py, pi 2pz, pi star 2py and pi star 2pz and sigma star 2px. The important thing again, you can remember here that here firstly written here sigma 2px and then pi 2py and pi 2pz. That is very important in case the case second. As we know the oxygen configuration, so oxygen configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. So see, firstly fill the first side atomic orbital, 1s 2 electron, 2s 2 electron and 2p 4 electrons. Again in this side 2s 2 and 2p 4. And now they start to combine to form the molecular orbital. So molecular orbital 1s combine to form sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, both having the 2 electrons. Then 2s sigma 2s 2 electron and sigma star 2s. And then in 2p orbitals, there are how many electrons? Total 8 electrons. So 8 electron firstly fill the lower energy, then they will start to paired up and fill upper energy. So firstly it filled 2p, then in pi 2py, pi 2pz. Remember, because both are equal energy, firstly they will fill partially and then they will start to paired up. Then again there are 2 electrons are remaining. They are filled in the pi star 2py and pi star 2pz. So that point is very important in that oxygen molecule. Because of this, that outer orbitals of oxygen molecule are unpaired electron. That's why it is paramagnetic in nature. Because of this, we say it is paramagnetic in nature. Now comes upon the electronic configuration, molecular orbital configuration. Sigma 1s2, sigma star, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2px2, pi 2py, pi 2pz, and the important thing is that pi star 2py and pi star 2pz, both the orbitals having unpaired, and that's why it is paramagnetic in nature. The bond order, number of electrons in bonding minus anti-bonding, that is 10 minus 6. So by 2, that is the bond order is 2. So this is the molecular orbital diagram for the oxygen molecule. So thank you. Keep learning.